When it comes to the Ison brand, as far as harness racing is concerned, usually we catch up with Tom or Sam, the two young guns of the family. On this occasion, I caught up with their dad, Andrew, to have a chat about his involvement in the industry. Well, Andrew, it's good to catch up with you. As I mentioned in the introduction, usually we're talking about Sam and Tom with their performances. Two young fellas you must be very, very proud of.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the kids go great. Tommy's always lived and breathed it. It's his be-all and end-all. And Sambo, he loves it. It's something that he does. It's not everything he does. So there's a difference between the boys, but yeah, they're both going well.
And Tom recently broke through the 400 barrier, so that's certainly another milestone.
He actually did that with this little mare that we got in tonight. Sat in the death, did it the tough way, won the heat for this race tonight from the death. That was his 400th, so yeah, it went well.
It's wonderful these country series finals, which will be renamed to the Waratahs, can be staged here at Club Menangle, Andrew, for the country trainers. Going through a very difficult time at the moment as we were having a chat about a lot of your friends suffering badly from the floods.
Yeah, everybody's affected in some way, like whether it be, for us it's not major, there's no major damage or anything, but purely and simply some of our horses don't get worked for a couple of days, and that's good for some and very bad for others. So some of them are good doers, and they've got to be worked pretty regularly and pretty hard, but some of the others it suits when they miss a couple of days, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, Rocket in Chelsea, as you just mentioned, very talented 5-year-old mare. She's going great guns for you.
Going great guns, 5 in a row, and we actually got rolled on Thursday, but I'm pretty confident that we only got beat because we were a little bit easy on it with tonight in mind. We wanted to make sure she was smick for the night, and that was being a little bit easier on her on Thursday, and that sort of got her rolled right on the line by a very good horse that Greg Coney's got up at home. A very nice horse, but I still think if we declared war, we'd have been right, but we had Saturday night in mind, so it's the way it is. We just ruined her record,
Well, hopefully that will be amended tonight, and we do wish you well with Rocket and Chelsea. Now, the boys are fourth generation, so where did it all commence, Andrew?
My mum's father, he was an old bushy drover, loved horses. That age, that vintage, they did everything with horses. They were farming with horses, and harness racing was just another part of that. So, and when my father met my mother, he got into it, and then it's just grown from there. So yeah, it's always just been hobby and fun, loving it. But for Tommy, it's pretty serious. He's putting his whole life around it. So he's going great guns. So we'll see where it ends up.
Andrew, and you've always been based around the Tamworth region?
Yes, always lived around Tamworth somewhere, never in it, but we've got a place on Kelso's Lane, 15 kilometres roughly south of Tamworth, so yeah, it's good. I love the Tamworth track. A lot of people don't, they think it's too small, but there's a lot of good racing up there and a lot of nice horses come out of the area, so it's good.
I'd say over the past 2 years, Andrew, it's always been very competitive, but there seems to be a lot more depth involved in the Tamworth region these days.
Much stronger. Yeah, the depth's there. It's I don't know what it is. I'm confident it's not the national rating system. I'm not a big fan of how they work that, but the general depth of horses in Tamworth, they're just getting stronger and stronger. Like better quality horses coming to the area. So if you're winning races up there, you're going well. You can go anywhere and be competitive. So
it also seems to be the emergence of a lot of fine young talent as far as the drivers are concerned.
Yeah. Well, Gemma's on fire. She drove, Gemma Coney that is, she drove 4 on Thursday and drove that little horse that beat Chelsea, drove it an absolute treat. Could not have timed her under perfection, did everything right to beat us on the day, and she's going great guns, and there's other good young drivers up there, and I've got a daughter that's 16, chafing at the bit to get going, finished the trial drives and can't wait to be cut loose. We're just waiting on harness racing to tell us what we've got to do next, and she's as keen as mustard. She comes to the trots and stands there kicking the fence because she can't be on the other side of the fence driving a horse, so but she will be soon, so that's the plan.
So we'll have the two boys and Molly fighting over the drives.
Yeah, Tommy. Well, Sam's got his own couple of horses, and he only gets the overflow office when Tommy's got a couple in the same race. Like, Tom does all the work on ours, so he gets first choice and does what he likes, and Sambo gets the overflow. And then little Emma, she came back to the sport for a while too and drove a couple of winners for Tom, and then met a young bloke, fell in love, moved to Queensland. He floats away from the game a bit, but that's what kids do. So she's enjoying life, and he's in harness racing up there, but Emma's, it's hard to get a start in Queensland. There's plenty of drivers up there and that, and she's not that keen. She loves it, but it's more just a bit of fun to her. So
We'll look forward to Molly making her debut on the racetrack. But as far as you mentioned, your grandfather and dad, hobby trainers, you've built your team up to about 17, which is big for you.
Massive. The most I ever had would have been 3 at any given time. But the keener Tommy gets, the more horses end up there, and I've got 6 of my own, I think, at the moment, because it's just so easy with Tom there. He works hard and gets everything done, and the horses are right, and Molly and myself, we just tag along behind and do what Tom tells us, basically. So he's got it pretty well covered.
You've always had fair horses. In fact, you've also enjoyed success in the Carnival of Cups.
It's funny that the money in harness racing now, the Carnival of Cups days, we used to race for, I think it was 6,600 or something on each given race at Carnival of Cups. And you'd win one of them and you think, oh, how good's this? You get 3,600 for winning. The money's just gone through the roof now. Like, we can race for that at any given time at Tamworth, and then on the big week, we're racing for nearly 10 grand. So honestly, I'd rather race for a bit less money and race more often, because it saves me travelling. I'd rather race at home. It's 15 minutes down the road, but that's the way it is. So. But
if you get a good one to come to Club and Angle, it's worth the trip.
Yeah, I've only won one heat before of this series, what's now the Waratah series. I love the little horse. We brought him down here. He ran 4th, run his heart out, did everything he could, and we went home very happy with him. Like, he hasn't got a lot of ability, but he tries really hard. It's a little .05, you might know him. He's one of my favourites. So hopefully Chelsea can go a bit better than that tonight. So.
Well, Andrew, it's been good to catch up. As we mentioned, we usually talk to the 2 boys. We know all about them, but it's now good to know Dad's background and continued success.
Thank you very much, Star.